welcome to sunny Southern California in the 60s and all set for the 103rd edition of the Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with the legendary Charger Hall of Fame quarterback Dan Fouts. Phil Simms inactive this week after back surgery. We wish him well. He'll return to the booth next week. And good to have you with us in the meantime, Dan, today.
Well, I appreciate being here for this game. Nothing better than the Chargers and Raiders in my mind.
Yeah, you know a lot about this rivalry. You saw it a few times.
Well, I felt it too.
Yeah.
This is a intense rivalry that can get nasty at times, but it's always entertaining.
And there's so much on the line in that AFC West. Kansas City and Denver in the late stages of that one, but the Chiefs came in at 7-4. San Diego, of course, that resurgence again late season. They've won 4 straight. The Raiders are undefeated in the division, but been slipping here in recent weeks. But they did beat San Diego back on October the 10th.
And they did it by special teams and forcing turnovers in the red zone. Special teams were terrible for San Diego. Their first 2 punts were blocked. One for a safety, one for a touchdown. The Chargers did rally, but again, it was the turnovers in the end and the powerful running of Michael Bush. That was the difference.
That ended a San Diego 13-game win streak over the Raiders, but San Diego's much improved since that time. What's been the difference for them?
Well, I think it's been Phillip Rivers, number one. He's hit 15 different receivers. He's had to introduce himself to a number of these guys because of injuries, but he's been so solid. His numbers have been off the charts, and he's been the big reason. And
of course, you got the running game for the Raiders, which has been really ineffective the last 2 weeks. They have to get that going again today, don't they? Well,
McFadden will get the start. He'll get most of the carries, but it'll be Michael Bush, who had the huge game against the Chargers in game 1, that could be the key. This is a really classic Mr. Outside and Mr. Inside for the Raiders.
Time to get it started here with Janikowski and the Raiders to kick. 67. And the sun is out right now on what they're forecasted to be a cloudy afternoon here, but it's gorgeous. Janikowski with a career-high 25 touchbacks on the year. That's second best in the NFL. He's going to send one about 2 yards deep to Darren Sproles. And Sproles is wrapped up at about the 18-yard line. Gafo on the tackle. Here comes Phillip Rivers. Now he's completed his last 13 throws. 11 for 11 in the second half against Indianapolis last Sunday night. So that streak continues, moving in on Charger record territory. McNeil, he's healthier than he's been since he ended the holdout and came back. You got Tolbert, who went over 100 last week, but Floyd was over 200 in receiving in that first matchup against the Raiders this year. So Kansas City just on final as this one gets started. We'll be coming here next week. There's Rivers to Tolbert for a gain of 2. That Oakland defense has really struggled here the last 2 games against Pittsburgh and Miami. Richard Seymour on that defensive front, though. Second best in the league in sacks. The Raiders with 32 on the season. Got the rookie middle linebacker taken in the first round. McLean has been battling tendonitis this week. And then Asamoah on a hobbled ankle. He's not going to be 100%, he told us, until the season ends and he can finally just rest. But he's in there right now, matched up against Floyd at the bottom of your screen. A second down and 8 for San Diego. They go to the ground, and that's Tolbert, very close to the first down yardage.
Yeah, big concern for San Diego is the right hand, the broken right hand of Michael Tolbert. Broke it against the Indianapolis Colts last week, but you can see he's carrying the ball in his left hand, and that's where he carries the ball predominantly. That's a big 9-yard gain.
Sets up third down and less than a yard to go. Hester joins him in the backfield. Gates shifts over to the right side, and that was Seymour across. Was he drawn off?
It appeared, though. Appeared that he did jump into the A gap there. Offside, free first down.
Defense, number 92, 5-yard penalty. Result of that penalty, first down, San Diego.
John Perry and his crew here today at Qualcomm Stadium. So the penalty against the Raiders, and they are the most penalized team by yardage in the league this year. That gives them a first down, San Diego.
Not exactly the start that Tom Cable's looking for. Needs more discipline out of his defense and his entire team. You talk about those penalties. 3rd and 1. You give the Chargers a free 5 yards.
San Diego had won the coin toss and elected to take the football right away. There's Gates, still not 100%. He's in motion to the right side as Rivers is sacked back at the 30. That's Michael Huff coming up. He was able to beat the block of Mike Tolbert. Loss of 3.
He's going to come from the left side here of our screen. And this is what he did against the Chargers in the game 1 when he caused the fumble that was returned for a touchdown and really sealed the victory for the Raiders.
That was the one that wrapped it up. 35-27 victory. And that one, Branch picked it up and ran it back after Huff forced that fumble. Sproles comes in to the San Diego backfield. Huff's 4th sack of the year. And it's a 2nd and 13. Ajira Tutu, an extra receiver for Rivers. Going for the big ball, and it was Ajira Tutu, the target, and Huff who knocked it away. And the Rivers completion streak ends at 14 consecutive completions.
Well, again, it was good pressure by the Raiders. And here's Ajira Tutu working down the middle of the field. This could have been intercepted by Huff if he could have just picked the ball up a little bit sooner. Rivers hit as he lets this one go. And he's lucky this isn't picked off. The Raiders would have had great field position.
The team record for completions consecutively shared by Phillip Rivers. And our man today, Dan Faust, 15 in a row.
You saw me jumping up and down for joy there.
Yeah, you know. It's like you were defending that pass. Dan did it in the game against Cleveland back in '81. 3rd and 13 as Rivers goes long ball over the head of Ajira Tutu. Tyvon Branch was trying to run with him, but Shea Ajira Tutu, the target the last 2 passes, and he's an impressive rookie free agent out of Fresno State, but overthrown.
Yeah, he's got great speed. And the one thing about Rivers is on a deep ball, he is not going to underthrow these guys. In fact, it was interesting talking to Nnamdi Asomugha about the Charger receivers. He calls them trees because of their length and speed down the field.
Cypress, he's not going to be blocked the first 2 times. This time against the Raiders as Higgins runs it out to the 30. Higgins, the returner today, as Nick Miller is inactive. That was a 57-yard punt, 11-yard return. The Raiders hold them on the first series. Well, that Kansas City game went final just as this one was getting started. So the Chiefs now 8-4, a 10-6 victory over the Broncos. So San Diego, with a win, would be 1 game back and then host them next week. Meanwhile, Oakland, they view this as a playoff game. They know they must win. Otherwise, falling 3 games behind the Chiefs with 4 weeks to play. 1st and 10, first snap of the game for Oakland. And it's McFadden up the middle for about 3. Campbell came in relief of Gradkowski in that first matchup October 10th, and he played well through 13 of 18, a touchdown, no picks. Of course, Gradkowski IR'd this week, so it's Campbell's job the rest of the way. Valdir, the rookie left tackle, taken in the 3rd round out of Little Hillsdale College. And McFadden trying to rekindle that effort he had at Denver on October 31st. And there he goes. McFadden Bulls ahead for about 5. It'll be 3rd and 2. The San Diego defense ranked number 1 in the league against the opponents. Total yards allowed. Garay on the nose with 4 sacks on the season. They ran back 2 Peyton Manning throws last week for touchdowns. Burnett had 1 of them. Weddle had the other. They picked Peyton 4 times overall. Forced 5 turnovers, the 4 picks and a fumble. And they lead the league in sacks, this defensive unit of Ron Rivera. 3rd, we'll call it 3, as Campbell, short drop throws over the head of Jacoby Ford, and a 3-and-out for Oakland.
Jacoby Ford has been called by his quarterback the bright star for the team lately. This ball thrown too high for Ford. Remember, Ford only goes 5'9". Jason Campbell with an overthrow. Looked like Ford had enough for that first down if the ball was a little bit lower.
Shane Leckler having another brilliant season. 4 consecutive Pro Bowls, 6 overall. 20 punts already on the season, have traveled at least 50 yards. This one fumbled, Fumbled inside the 20. Ball still free. Recovered by the Raiders. It's Hiram Eugene.
Now you can credit the great hang time by Shane Leckler. That ball was up there for an eternity, and you could just see Sproles getting antsy as the ball was coming down. And this is just a plain muff. And then a wild scramble for it. Look at him eyeing this ball. He knows the Raiders are closing in on him. He took his eye off the ball. It hit him high on the chest above the numbers. And a huge turnover and another special teams gaffe for San Diego.
First turnover committed by San Diego in the last 7 quarters, and Tom Cable knows this is the early break that his team needed.
Shane Leckler, who would ever have thought that the Raiders would have a better punter than Ray Guy? They do in Leckler.
Leckler's career numbers, best of all time. So in the red zone now, 1st and 10, Campbell. That's over to Murphy, and well defended, no gain. Antoine Cason over there locking down that side.
And Jason Campbell can't throw that ball out to Murphy, because Cason was only about 3 yards off the wide receiver. You got to pump fake that and go to another receiver. You're just hanging your guy out to dry. Good quick reaction by Cason.
It actually lost a yard, so 2nd and 11 from the 19. McFadden. That's a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 7 coming up for Jason Campbell and the Oakland Raiders, who needed a spark. You saw them at their very best when they had that 59-point performance at the end of October at Denver.
Well, that's the key. It was at Denver, and they did get an early turnover after scoring on their first drive. McFadden had his longest run of the season. He was awesome that afternoon. That's the type of effort the Raiders need today, and they've already gotten the break that they needed.
Yep, they fed off in that game, those early breaks, like that Chris Johnson run back you mentioned. 3rd and 7. Got to get to the 8 for the first. Campbell pump fake. He's got pressure from behind. He's going to tuck it under. Stays on his feet. And he's going to be just about a yard shy of the first.
Well, he took a big hit at the end of this, too. Raiders could not afford to have Campbell go down. The pressure comes from the right side of the screen. Sean Phillips looking for another sack. He's going to reach out and just barely get him. Won't go down as a sack, though.
Antoine Barnes also giving chase. And the Raiders keep the offensive unit on the field on 4th and 1.
Raiders on 4th downs this season, just 5 of 14.
But they were 2 of 2 on 4th and 1s in that first matchup against San Diego.
And
they had
got Michael Bush in the game, too.
So timeout. Oakland's going to talk it over, showing they're going for it. 4th and 1 at the 9. MetLife Limp looking down at Qualcomm Stadium, where the Raiders are trying to take advantage of a special teams error again by San Diego. The fumble, the muff by Darren Sproles. It's 4th and 1, and yes, even with the timeout, Tom Cable is still going for it. Bush in the backfield gets, no, it's Campbell. What a fake. Campbell taken off on the bootleg, and a touchdown for the Raiders.
Great play call by Hugh Jackson and the Raiders. An excellent execution by Jason Campbell. Really hung with the fake and then got around the corner and totally fooled the Chargers, especially Antoine Applewhite on the outside.
Great sleight of hand by Campbell. No one near him. On 4th and 1, he takes it home from 9 yards out. And Janikowski, it's through there. 7-0. Sproles hoffs it up. Cable's Raiders take advantage with a touchdown. Tonight on The Amazing Race, 4 teams remain. Just 2 episodes to go. One amazing adventure in Korea. It's tonight after 60 minutes. Only CBS. Well, an 18-yard drive, 15 of the 18 yards picked up by Campbell on the ground. And the Raiders score first here. This is a Raider team that put up 3 touchdowns for the entire month of November. 2 of those 3 touchdowns were kick returns by Jacoby Ford. I should make that 4 touchdowns, and 3 of them by Ford, 2 running them back, and 1 by reception, as Hester tackled down at the 24 with a flag. With a flag. So that offense has been sputtering.
36, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Put Rivers and the Chargers back near the 10. What did you see here, Dan?
Well, the key for Oakland today is pressuring Phillip Rivers, and they're getting it. The first 2 pass attempts almost intercepted there, but look how tiny the pocket is. Remember back in October, Rivers threw for 431 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. But if he doesn't get better pass protection than he's getting already, it could be a long afternoon for the Chargers.
He's already been sacked on that first series by Michael Huff. That penalty against Quentin Teal sends San Diego back to the 14 to start their second drive of the game. First time they had it, picked up 1 first down, then forced to punt. Not much there up the middle with Tolbert. McLean, the middle linebacker, helped plug the hole there. No gain.
And McLean is battling a foot problem. It was first reported as arthritis, and that we've all found that a little bit hard to believe. So it was corrected to be tendonitis.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Well, he's much too young to feel like we do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The rookie from Alabama had his first career pick last week against Miami. Second down and 10. They've got double tight information. McMichael comes in for San Diego, and there's an open target out at the 30. Malcolm Floyd working on Stanford route, and a gain that time for San Diego of 20 yards.
Yeah, this is the back shoulder throw that Rivers loves to throw to his tall receivers. Floyd, of course, he goes about 6'5". It's very difficult for a corner to defend. Talk to Nnamdi Asomugha. What he does, he says he reads the receiver's eyes. When the receiver reaches for the ball, he tries to get his hand in between the receiver's hands.
Gates comes out. First down, San Diego at the 33. Last play officially 19 yards as Rivers, pocket sealed this time, throws it middle, and he's intercepted. Intercepted by Michael Huff. And Tolbert had a play on him. Finally, Nane able to wrap him up, and the Raiders with a second takeaway in the early stages and back on the San Diego side of the field.
10th interception of the year thrown by Phillip Rivers, and he just overthrows a very tall receiver in Malcolm Floyd. He had good pass protection that time, but Floyd working against Asomugha, and Michael Huff just playing center field catches the overthrow, and the Raiders get 2 breaks here early in this first quarter.
Huff's first pick of the season. He's got a pick and a sack here in the first 8 minutes of the game. And Oakland set up at the Chargers 41. The fake to McFadden. The pass complete to Reese. And Jammer makes the tackle at the 30, but a gain of 11.
Really athletic move by Jason Campbell to get away from Sean Phillips. Phillips on the corner here is coming in, and look at Campbell just fade away. He knows he has a wide open Reese and a good straight arm there, and it's a first down for Oakland. Jason Campbell showing his athletic ability here early.
From the 30 and a first, back to McFadden, who weaves down to the 24. Nice run of 6. McFadden been really shut down the last 2 weeks. Dan had over the last 2 games 18 carries for only 16 yards total.
And the Chargers have an injured player down in the middle of their defense there, Brandon Seiler. Now that's Seiler is replacing Stephen Cooper. He's got a bad knee. This could be very important for San Diego.
And Cooper is up. He's already marching out there. Seiler got the start today. Injury timeout here in San Diego. A few visuals from the legendary San Diego Zoo. Back here at Qualcomm off of Rivers' interception, the Raiders Operating at the 24, Stephen Cooper has come in for Brandon Seiler, and linebacker for the Chargers. Cooper again not 100%. And McFadden over the pile to the 22. Got about 2 yards to go, third down on the way.
You know, Cooper may not be 100% physically, but mentally he is, no question. Did you see it before the ball was snapped? He knew exactly where the Raiders were going to run this ball. He moved the linebackers, fellow inside linebacker Burnett over, and the two of them were there to stop McFadden.
Zach Miller lined up on the left side. He's been healthy all this week after some recent nicks. Favorite target now shifting over to the right side. 3rd and 2. They'll go ground. McFadden. Caesar had a hand on him, and they keep him about a half-yard shy. Maybe they'll go for it again.
Yeah, if I were the Raiders, I would go for it again. They outweigh the Chargers defensively, and another Charger is down and hurt on their defense.
That's Garay getting on his feet, and now he falls down again. Caesar really makes the stop here. Burnett comes over to help out, does Cooper as well. So Garay was on his feet, said, I'm going to stay in the huddle, and then he fell back down to his knees. So we'll take another timeout here. Raucous crowd here as the Raiders come to the line, 4th and a foot from the San Diego 20. The sneak, they take advantage of Garay coming out of the game. Nuwabo on the nose gets pushed back by Satella, and it's first down Oakland.
Satelli's a 300-pounder, and Robert Gallery to the left side, 325. This is as easy a pickup on a quarterback sneak as you'll ever see. San Diego really late off the ball, and Cesar playing a little bit too wide.
Satelli is now down and just gets on his feet here, a little shaky. The Satelli take out Nuwabo. Just a huge gap there.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Jason Campbell just took that on his own, because he saw Cesar on the outside shoulder of Gallery, and with Nuwabo right head up on the center, that was a huge gap in the A gap to the left of the center.
Well, now trotting out onto the field. Well, that's Valdir there.
Well, Valdir did start the season as a center for the Raiders, and really was overmatched in his first NFL game against Tennessee. But that really shuffles the offensive line. Mario Henderson now will go at left tackle for Valdir.
Campbell converting on both 4th and 1 situations here in the first quarter. We'll check the exchange here. Valdir to Campbell. Michael Bush with his first carry of the game, and he backs his way to the 14 and a gain of 4.
We go back to the first time that Jason Campbell was effective on the ground. Antoine Applewhite in the circle here. Is he fooled? Just a touch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody from San Diego even in the picture when he's in the end zone. That's how well he executed that boot.
Schillens seeing his first action of the season at the top of the screen, wide left. 2nd down and 7. And Campbell's going gun. Campbell's pass complete to Miller at the 10-yard line. We talked to Campbell last night. He was really excited about Miller's health, you know, being really close to 100% for the first time in quite a while.
It's kind of ironic that both tight ends in this game lead their teams in receptions and in foot injuries. Both of them are suffering. Both Zach Miller and Antonio Gates have plantar fasciitis, and yet they're both out here playing in a lot of pain.
Satelli is back in at center. There's Gates even getting worked on right now. Those are the only 2 tight ends who lead their teams in receptions and reception yards. 3rd and 2. Working hard for it. That's Michael Bush, and he's got the first. Just like that first down carry, he just pushed everyone back, running backwards, driving for the first down.
Gives you an indication of just how strong he is. How much power as he turns backwards, as you said, Jim, and just keeps his legs driving and rolls over Chargers.
So a 1st and goal at the 8. Khalif Barnes is an eligible receiver on the right side. He's actually caught a touchdown this season. 9th play of the drive for the Raiders, coming off the interception by Michael Huff. And it's Michael Bush. Still driving, and it takes 3 Chargers to push him back. They'll mark it at the 4. Weddle the first to get to him. Bush, who had a big first game this season against San Diego.
Yeah, and Ugemni Nwabo had a shot at him. He got a real good takeoff and could have brought down Bush in the backfield. Watch number 91 here. Just can't reach and bring him down. Breaking tackles is Michael Bush.
Weddle telling us in meetings this week how huge Bush is. So hard to bring him down, and he's shown it on this drive. 2nd and goal. Maybe they'll call on him again. They do. Bush, tiny little hole that gets clogged up in a hurry. Only a gain of a yard.
You see where the Raiders are attacking San Diego, though. With Garay out of the game with an apparent knee injury, they're going right after Ugemni Nwabo.
It'll be a 3rd and goal coming up from the 4. Ron Rivera's defense has been handed a couple of tough situations off those giveaways. Can they hold the Raiders to 3? 3rd and goal. Campbell. Touchdown. Jacoby Ford. What a start for the Raiders here.
Now the Raiders got away with a little pass interference, a screen or a rub, if you will. Watch Hayward Bay right there pick off Strickland. Wide open is Ford. Sometimes you get away with things like that in rivalry games.
.30 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the Raiders lead it 14-0. All the points coming off turnovers. This time off the Huff interception. Ford delivers another 6 for Oakland. Jason Campbell looking very sharp early. 6 minutes and 39 seconds on that short field drive. Thrown for a touchdown, run for 1. Janikowski with a liner. Sproles on 1 hop from the goal line. Finds a seam, and he's tackled at the 30. Huff on the tackle. 2 first downs by the Chargers and 2 giveaways.
Yeah, Sproles muffs the punt after the great punt by Fleckler. Naked boot by Campbell goes in easily. Then the overthrow, and then this 4-yard touchdown catch by the rookie Jacoby Ford. Perfect start for the Oakland Raiders.
We saw a couple of times Antonio Gates with the training staff working on the foot. He's out there. He's lined up on the left side and going to shift over now on first down from the 31. Colbert into the arms of John Henderson. That'll run out of first quarter, dominated by the Raiders. So that's going to be the end of 1 quarter here in San Diego. Raiders 14, Chargers nothing. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Getting set for the 2nd quarter here in San Diego. Jim Nantz and Dan Fouts on the scene as the Chargers in that first quarter looked like the San Diego team we saw the first part of the season. All kinds of mistakes, miscues that were taken advantage of. A 2nd and 8 to start the 2nd. That's Floyd. Stopped about a yard shy of the first. Brought down by Rout. Gain of 7.
And the important thing about that play, Jim, is that it was a 3-step drop by Rivers. He got the ball out of his hand quickly. He gets the ball from the center, Hardwick, and just fires the ball close to a first down, but that's one way to combat a fierce pass rush that the Raiders have given Rivers so far.
3rd and a yard. The Raiders already in this game gave them a first
encroachment. Defense, number 93, 5-yard penalty, which will result first down.
They've done it twice now. First time it was Seymour, this time Tommy Kelly.
And both of them were on 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
So they get 5 yards and, more importantly, the first down. That's Kelly, number 93. And the ball is so close to him, he can reach out and touch the ball.
So a first down at the 45 as Hester comes back into the backfield. Pressure on Rivers. Double pass. And it's caught by Tolbert.
Boy,
that was dangerous.
You think so?
Game 7.
Yeah, this is a little bit dangerous. Watch Rivers again. He's going to get real good pressure from the Raiders. He'll step up into the calm spot of the pocket, but this little push here in between Raiders, what a catch by Tolbert. Took it right off his hip with one hand.
It's like a two-handed chest pass in basketball here.
I think that's not even an offensive foul either.
Oakland was trying to draw the charge, maybe. I don't know. First time on the Oakland side of the field now for that San Diego offense. 2nd down and 3, and Tolbert had hands on him quickly, able to just get back to the line of scrimmage. Shaughnessy and Mitchell combined on the tackle, actually for a loss of a yard. You got a sports fan on your gift list. CBSSports.com shop has officially licensed NFL gear, and you can get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com.
Better send Phil a New Jersey, don't you think?
Send him a number 14, a little Charger 14.
I don't think
sign him a get well.
Well,
on it.
I'll charge him for it.
He doesn't pay for stuff, so
none of us do.
That ends the deal right there. 3rd and 4. Sproles flanking Rivers. Steps up away from the pressure, and what a nice catch. Pulled down by Floyd. The trees you were talking about, that Asamoah was talking about. There's the great case of it for 24.
The pass pressure this time does not get to Rivers. He's able to step up in the pocket and have a real nice throwing lane. And the trees, what Asamoah is talking about is a 6'5" receiver like Floyd with speed and length. And there's the length as he goes up high to make this catch. Rivers needed that because his last attempt to Floyd was picked off when he overthrew Floyd.
Well, I was watching it, I'm eyeballing it. I thought Stevie Brown might catch the interception on an overthrow, but Floyd leaps for the catch while Tolbert runs it to the 21.
Great block by Jacob Hester on Quentin Groves. Hester, not your biggest fullback at 5'9", 235, but he's a real technician. Watch number 22, left side of the screen, go low on Groves and take his legs out. This is just a really well-executed block on a much bigger defender.
2nd and 6. Not thrown to Gates to this point. And then he was led too much. He was open.
Yeah, Rivers just doesn't look real sharp. His normal sharp passing we're not getting so far in his first half, and I think he knows it. This could have gone all the way to the end zone. Just out in front of Nane by a whisker. He was wide open. But Jim, you talked about Gates. This is where he is so effective, running those little jerk routes where he starts one direction, pivots, but pivoting off bad feet is not easy for number 85.
Lined up on the right side this time in the slot is Gates. On 3rd and 6. And that pass almost intercepted. That was Rout who had a hand on it. Pass intended for Ajira Tutu. And the Chargers will bring out Nate Kading.
This is the difference between Gates and Ajira Tutu. Tries to get the pick there, and actually the pick on Rout hurt the Chargers because it didn't allow Rout to follow Ajira Tutu to the middle of the field.
be 39 yards for Kading, who made 5 field goals last Sunday night in Indianapolis. He's made 68 of his last 69 in the regular season inside the 40, and he's dead center with this one. Points on the board for the Chargers, still trailing 14-3. Chargers 9 plays, 48 yards, a Kading field goal. The big play in the drive was the pass play of 27 yards to Malcolm Floyd. The first chance to see Jacoby Ford now as a returner today. He ran back that opening kick last week against Miami for the first ever Raider kick return coming on the opening kick of a game. He's run 2 back this year. Look at him fly. There's a flag thrown in. He raced it out there 28 yards and had the Raiders set up in a good starting point at the 35, but it's going against Oakland.
During the return, holding number 57 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10. Timeout in the field.
11 minutes to go in the second quarter here in San Diego. 14-3 Oakland. The great city of San Diego, where the Raiders have not won a game here since losing Super Bowl 37 on this field January 26, 2003. The fortunes of the two franchises since that time, opposite directions. In fact, the Raiders had 11 lost seasons, at least 11 losses every year since that year.
Win today will break that streak.
That's right. That would end it. They'd give them a 6-6 record. That's McFadden. We're about 3. Chargers won the division the last 4 years. How about a little Fouts focus here?
How does Jacoby Ford get so wide open? Well, he gets a little help from his friend Darius Hayward-Bay with a little pick there. 4-yard touchdown catch by Ford. Strickland taken advantage of on that one.
Murphy to the right and Hayward-Bay to the left. As Campbell and the Raiders have 2nd down and 7. Doing play action. Looking long, going to go underneath instead. It's Phillips bringing down McFadden. Picks up a first though. Gains 7. From TV's #1 comedy to the #1 new comedy, the #1 news magazine, and the #1 news show, and the #1 show overall on television. It all adds up to America's #1 network, CBS. Brandon Seiler, remember he was nicked in that first quarter. He's back on the field for the San Diego defense. First down Raiders, and no gain. Well, maybe a yard for McFadden. The word is that Antonio Garay, again, questionable to return with the ankle. Satelli, you see breaking huddle there. He was out for 1 play. Nuwabo still on the field as Garay's replacement. Second down and 9, and Campbell is going to tuck it under. Take off for a first down. Campbell, a couple of big rushes in this game. This picks up 12 in the first.
Campbell now leading rusher for the Raiders. 4 carries, 30 yards. And he just ran away from the Chargers' Luis Castillo there to pick up the first down, get out of bounds, stay out of harm's way. Good pass protection that time. Campbell looked all over the field before deciding to take off.
Campbell with 4 runs in the game, 3 of them picking up first downs, including a touchdown. They return to Michael Bush now as the tailback. Going to throw it on first down, set up screen to Reese. Reese take it off and high hurdling inside the 40 and down at the 35, and that got that Oakland bench, that Oakland sideline excited with that effort by Marcel Reese. Leaping over Brandon Seiler for 22.
Now they went right to where the Chargers were blitzing. Watch the blitz coming here. Campbell retreats, gets the ball to Reese, and then Reese, the former wide receiver at the University of Washington, goes up over the top.
It was actually Eric Weddle that he jumped over. And then
he not only hurdled, he long jumped on that.
Yeah. Brought down by Burnett. Oakland's longest play of the day. 22 yards. First down from the 35. They go with Hayward Bay on the reverse. Blockers in front. Cuts back middle. And he's got a first down at the 22.
Really another well-executed play by the Raiders. Samson Titelli will get out in front. Watch Titelli, the center here. And he's going to get the key block out here. Again, the speed of Darius Hayward Bay. And the Raiders, another impressive long drive. Remember, they had a couple of long drives in the first game up in Oakland against the Chargers.
Yeah, they had a 97-yard drive in that game, which was their longest since 1997. And that was executed by Jason Campbell, who here hands off to Michael Bush. And after the 13-yard run by Hayward Bay, this one by Bush is good for 4.
Well, the offensive line is dominating for Oakland right now. They're giving Campbell time to look at his receivers. Campbell's doing a good job moving in the pocket. And now they've got the Chargers thinking where they're going to hit him next. So the Raiders hit him right in the gut there with Bush.
Oakland with 81 yards on the ground. They're the first opponent this season to rush for more than 75 yards on this field against the Chargers. 5 previous opponents had not even mustered 75 as a team. Now they're within a yard of another first as Bush takes it up the middle for 4. Gray is back on the field for San Diego on the nose.
Well, he is a difference maker in the middle. He's probably the tallest nose tackle in the NFL at 6'4". He weighs 320, and as Ron Rivera likes to call him, he's just a freakish type of athlete at that size and to be so stout in the middle.
Third, we'll call it 2. And flags everywhere.
I think Gallery may have jumped.
False start. Number 76. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It was Gallery, so.
It's something about 3rd and 1 today. That's 3 penalties on 3rd and 1, 2 when the Chargers were on offense, and now when the Raiders are on offense.
All going against Oakland.
That's really the only mistakes they've made today in an almost near perfect first half.
Tom Campbell was looking for a much improved play out of that offensive line. Tom Cable. And he's getting it. 3rd and 7. Need to get just inside the 12 for a first. Campbell, he'll run with it. And he's got a first down at the 10. Jason Campbell, they can't stop him when he tucks it under and runs with it. This time for 9.
He's averaging 8 yards a carry. Look at the protection, though. He's got all day to look around. He sees the opening. Almost threw the ball there that time to Bush, but he was covered by Seiler. Smart slide here at the end.
I'll tell you, too, Bush turned around and threw a block on Seiler that really made that play happen. That really helped get the path cleared for the first down. First and goal. And that's Bush getting rewarded with a carry near the 6. So a gain of 4 as we move inside of 5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Well, Turner's got to be worried about his defense. They're on the field an awful long time here in the first half. 16 minutes, 51 seconds of possession by the Raiders.
Raiders have had it in this first half for about as long as they had it for the entire game last week against Miami.
No question.
Miami had it for 42 minutes against them. 2nd and goal from the 6. It's Bush spinning, still on his feet, and he's in for the touchdown. Michael Bush. He was hit by Weddle and was able to break free and reach across. 7-yard touchdown run for the Raiders.
And before he got to Weddle, he ran over linebacker Antoine Applewhite. Left side of the screen. Watch Applewhite come up here. Oliver misses. And Weddle gets dragged across the goal line.
That drive, 6 minutes and 58 seconds. to 3. Oakland. Michael Bush not to be denied, and they're in shock in San Diego. Tonight on 60 Minutes, something big is brewing at Facebook. What is it? Find out directly from CEO Mark Zuckerberg on 60 Minutes, plus Ben Bernanke and his predictions for the economy. That's tonight on 60 Minutes. Well, you've been talking about all day today about those drives they had, talking about Campbell and the Raiders back on October the 10th. They've had a couple of good ones here today already. And again, what's up with Sproles? He bobbles that one, so a touchback. Last 3 times the Raiders have had it. They found the end zone, lead at 21-3. Little gourmet tailgate on the parking lot, Pomplamoose style.
They're serious.
Yeah, the Strausses. There's the svelte Jeffrey Strauss serving up some tasty little delectables. 1st and 10 for the Chargers from the 20. And Rivers was looking downfield, dumps it underneath instead to Tolbert, and a gain of 7.
Been a frustrating first half for Philip Rivers. Now 6 out of 11, no touchdowns, 1 interception. But that's what pressure will do to any quarterback, even a quarterback as skilled as Philip Rivers. It allows the defensive backs to play just a little bit tighter in their man-to-man, knowing that Rivers is not going to have a lot of time to throw.
Let's remind Philip Rivers and everyone that he doesn't lose in December. He's never lost a December start. 18-0. His first crack at a December game 2010 coming today, and he's got his target. That's Randy McMichael for the first down, gain of 9. 18-0 all time in the month of December.
How about the Mad Bomber, Daryl LaMonica?
Yeah, it's pretty stout. Same record as Roger the Dodger in December, 17-3.
That's amazing company right there.
If you're talking about Rivers, he's 30-7 as a starter overall in his career at home. He's down big here early, 21-3. Now on first down. Hit when he threw it, but he's got Antonio Gates for the first time today. Perfect pass. And a gain of 24 down to the Oakland 40.
Shaughnessy working around the corner on Marcus McNeil. Almost gets to Rivers. Pulls on his jersey. Talk about strength from a quarterback. Being pulled by a defensive lineman here and getting the ball down to his tight end. Antonio Gates, first catch of the game for Gates, and just what the Chargers need to get rolling.
Gates with a foot injury and a turf toe injury, so it's just been really difficult all season long, but he answers the call again here today. It's down from the 40 as Rivers has no time to throw. Tommy Kelly with his 6th sack of the year. A loss of 6.
Here's Kelly right in the middle. And he's working on Tyrone Green, just shoves Green to the side and gets after the quarterback. Green had no help on Kelly, but that's because you've got Richard Seymour right next to him. What an addition Seymour has been as a leader and as a teammate. He draws a lot of attention. That's why Kelly now has 6.5 sacks on the season.
2-minute warning. Oakland leads it 21-3, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. All the scores and highlights with recaps of the early games coming up on the Sprint halftime report. 2nd down and 15. Chargers with the full allotment of timeouts. And they go screen to Tolbert. McClain wraps him up, chases him down along with Mitchell. So it'll set up 3rd and about 9. That picked up 6.
Yeah, Chargers facing 6 defensive backs by the Raiders. See number 34 right in the middle there, big hitter Mike Mitchell. As McClain makes the hit, watch Mitchell finish it off. That's what this rivalry is all about. To the whistle, through the whistle.
Chargers have to get to the 30 for a first. 3rd and 9. Raiders showing blitz. Gates Makes the nice move. What a pivot move on sore feet. Able to pirouette right past Mike Mitchell. And that's a first down.
He's absolutely amazing at 260 pounds to be able to make that move against a smaller defensive back.
First down Chargers, and they take a timeout. Before this drive, Gates did not have a catch. He's had 2 big catches on this series.
Man-to-man coverage by Mike Mitchell. A little shove there, but that's the move. Planting that left leg, getting up the field, knowing what he needs for the first down, and then getting down.
Got a booth review on the spot. Asamoah came over.
Remember, the yellow line is unofficial, but it appears that he is short of the first down because his knees were down almost before Asamoah hit him.
Remember, they needed to get right on the 30 for the first. Well, I think they're going to have I think this is going to have a very strong chance of being pushed back.
Yeah, this will bring up a 4th down. Maybe a yard. Less than a yard. 30-yard line is what he needed, but he's down. The ball is not across the 30-yard line when contact is made by Asamoah.
Let's just see when that left knee touches the ground where the ball is. Right there. And it's about a half-yard shy of the first, you would think. Coach Cable, who began his coaching career here in San Diego back in 1989 as a graduate assistant at San Diego State University, imploring his guys that this week and every subsequent week, it's got to be like a playoff effort if we want to have any chance of going postseason bound. It's the first meaningful December game this franchise has had in a long, long time.
And when you look at what Kansas City with their win today, the Raiders need to keep pace. It would be 2 back after beating the Chargers if they continue as they're playing right now. But
John Perry.
After reviewing the play, when the runner's knee and elbow was down, the ball was at the 30 and 1/2 yard line. Therefore, it will be 4th down, a half yard on the left hash. Since the clock would have remained running in either situation, San Diego is still charged with their team timeout.
So Asamoah makes the stick that upon further review leads to San Diego being stopped about a half-yard short. So the offensive unit is going to stay out there.
yeah, that's a good decision by Norv Turner. They've only gone for a 4th down try 8 times this season, converted 3 of them, but that's a very few number at this late in the season.
Tolbert is the deep back. Once Tolbert gets the call, and he's got nowhere to run. The Raiders make the stop. And look at Cable celebrate his defense coming up with the play. Lamar Houston was the first to come crashing through.
Yeah, Houston showing why it was such a high pick. Number 2 out of Texas. Great penetration. And Tolbert doesn't get anywhere near the line of scrimmage. Houston at the bottom of the pile. Number 99 right there. Big play by the rookie.
John Henderson is down on the field, the Raider defensive lineman. Boy, we had some crucial 4th down plays today, and they've all gone the Raiders' way.
And that first one was Campbell's bootleg run for a touchdown.
And the second one by Campbell on a sneak led to another touchdown at the end of that drive. And This one stops the San Diego threat with 1:37 to go in the half, as Henderson has helped up.
And that's what happens sometimes when you have a review. It takes a lot of the steam out of one or the other, usually out of the team that's been marching down the field. The Chargers had a good drive going there, but that booth review gave the Raiders a chance to catch their breath, figure out short yardage. They need to get that penetration, and that's what Houston gave him.
Again, coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB will take you around the league with the recaps of the early games and an update on the late afternoon games, including the Cowboys defeating the Colts right now, as Peyton Manning has been picked and run back for a touchdown for the third time now in 2 weeks. Of course, the Chargers, Weddle and Burnett had pick sixes last Sunday night. Today was Orlando Scandrick of the Cowboys, who lead by 10 in that one. All that coming up on the Sprint halftime report. 2 timeouts for the Raiders with 1:37 to go in the second quarter. A flag thrown. Campbell unloads it to Miller at the last moment and is pushed out of bounds at the 40.
I think the Chargers were off sides on this play. Great play by Campbell, finding his tight end. I'll check that. Maybe they were drawn off sides.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Talking about those Manning returns for touchdowns. Burnett, for the second time in his career, ran back a Peyton interception for a touchdown. He and Ty Law, the only two to twice do that. Picks and run backs on Manning.
It looks like Manning's going to give a lot of guys a chance to tie that record the way he's going, with no running attack at all.
Again, no running game. And it's quite a struggle for the 6-5 Colts. First and 15. And Reese stretches it out. Got a little bit flimsy with the football there. Timeout called by San Diego, leaving the Chargers with one. Here's what we saw last Sunday night at Indianapolis. I'm not sure there wasn't a better all-around performance by a team this year in football. Burnett got one, Weddle the other.
And Weddle's was a little controversial. In fact, the league let Indianapolis know that it was an illegal play by Weddle, as he gained leverage on Reggie Wayne to pick that ball off. The league never apologized, just acknowledged that it was a bad non-call.
Doesn't do you a lot of good when you get that phone call a few days after the game, does it?
Even if they said they're sorry, it wouldn't make you feel any better.
All right, with second down and 10, the Chargers called the timeout in hopes of making a couple of stops and getting a crack at it here before halftime. Raiders go Brown with McFadden, which by doing so forces San Diego to take its last timeout.
And Luis Castillo is hurt. He got taken out by Quentin Jammer, his own teammate, as he was trying to make that tackle.
Castillo, they can't afford, even though Gurray has returned, they can't afford to have another shaken defensive lineman, and may have gotten tangled up with his own teammate
well,
here.
Jammer, number 23, Jim, right from the right side of the screen, you can see the brace on Castillo's left knee, and that's exactly where Jammer trying to make the tackle himself. Jammer a little slow getting up, getting hit by the 290-pound Castillo.
Castillo is going to walk to the sideline as the Raiders have third down coming up, and we have number 1 Duke. Next Saturday on CBS, they'll be taking on the Billikens of St. Louis, going against Kyle Singler and Nolan Smith and all of those Duke Blue Devils, the returning national champions, on CBS, and the road to the Final Four next weekend.
Almost perfect first half for Jason Campbell. This will be an interesting play selection by Hugh Jackson here. You want to take a shot, incomplete pass will stop the clock, give the Chargers some time left.
You run it, and even if you fail to get it, you leave them almost no time to do anything. They're going to go up top. McFadden falls out. The ball is out at the 39-yard line, recovered by the Chargers. McFadden, the ball squirted out as he somersaulted through the air. It was Quentin Jammer who recovered, actually knocked it loose, and Phillips who forced it.
And the ball gets away from his body right here, and it's a perfect hit by Jammer right on the arm. And there at the bottom of the pile appears to be Seiler, is it? Number 59. Or actually, Sean Phillips, you were right. I did a little dyslexia there.
No, I think I did. It was Phillips on the recovery, Jammer who knocked it loose.
Perfect.
I had it upside down. I had your head spinning there, my man.
It's not easy to do.
So San Diego in business with 1:08. Timeout called by the Raiders. So a break at last for the Chargers side of things. 39-yard line and no timeouts. Army-Navy, the tradition continues next week on CBS. You always throw out the records when these two tangle. Of course, Army going to the Armed Forces Bowl down in Fort Worth this year. Army and Navy. You ever had the good fortune of calling that one? I had 3 times to do it.
Yeah, it's a tradition like none other, to coin a phrase.
I've heard that before. Navy's going to be in a bowl out here in San Diego, so they've had good seasons, and they'll meet next week on CBS. Here we go. First down out of the gun. Rivers. What a hit. And Sproles is knocked back by Orlando McClain. And McClain reacts to the crowd as Sproles is still down.
And the clock will stop. They'll have to have a runoff because the Chargers have no more timeouts. Watch Sproles, 43 on the route across the middle. McClain sees it. And this is the type of impact play that the Raiders have been waiting to see from their #1 pick out of Alabama.
Of course, the crowd is reacting. They think it's an illegal hit. Was it, Dan?
I don't think so. I think that he's not a defenseless player in this case. He takes 2 or 3 steps. He's running down the field. In McClain's defense, Sproles is only 5'6". It's hard not to hit him high. The crowd also may be reacting to the reaction of McClain after the hit.
It really leads with the right shoulder. And Sproles is dazed and down.
This would be a huge loss for San Diego. Ryan Matthews is healthy and he will play at some point today. But remember, Sproles returns punts and kickoffs for San Diego and is so dangerous in the open field.
And McClain did have a reaction, didn't he, after the hit?
That's the one thing that John Marshall talked about. He says that he's very intelligent, is well schooled at Alabama under Nick Saban, had a great career at Alabama. They've been waiting for him to make that type of impact play. And what that may impact the Chargers, if they lose Darren Sproles, you lose more than just a threat out of the backfield. You lose a key special teams contributor. Not been a very good day for Sproles. Muffed that punt in the first quarter and now is still down, although they're helping him up. He is as tough as they come, too.
Is he ever. Mother, shortly after giving birth to Darren Sproles, she decided to call him Tank. 10 pounds at birth.
Yeah.
And
he's still 10 pounds.
Good to see him on his feet and able to walk to the sideline.
And they'll take him right to the locker room for further observation.
Meanwhile, the football is at the 32-yard line. And a second down and
47 seconds. The clock will begin on the ready for play.
Yeah, they're going to knock down 10 seconds off the clock because the Chargers had no timeouts, and the injured player had to be addressed, so they run off the 10 seconds.
And the clock will run as soon as they mark it ready for play.
Rivers steps up in the pocket, goes toward the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Trying to connect with Ajira Tutu. Was covered by Stanford Rout. Sproles will head to the locker room early, as will Garay.
That's a couple of times that Rivers has targeted Shea Ajira Tutu. The free agent out of Fresno State had a big game against the Texans a couple weeks back.
Yeah, caught 2 touchdowns, including the game winner in that one. 3rd down and 3 with 37 seconds. This will be about a 50-yard field goal from here if they fail to advance it. Rivers looks left side, and it's incomplete. Was trying to connect with Legadou Nane.
Yeah, this game started rough for Philip Rivers. You can see he's got a black mark on the side of his helmet, and that's courtesy of the Raiders. He's been harassed and sacked a couple of times and just is off target. But that's, I can tell you, it's always frustrating playing against the Raiders. You just got to keep hanging in there, keep taking your shots, because sooner or later you're going to get them.
Kading will try this one from 50 yards. Cypress on the hold. Wynn snaps it back, and a beautiful kick by Kading. But it is short. He had the accuracy, but well short on the distance. Falls underneath the goalpost.
And now the Raiders got great field position, and Sebastian Janikowski's got a huge leg. The Raiders have 1 timeout. Maybe he kicked the ball too high for a long kick of 50 yards or so. That ball came up about 5 yards short.
Yep.
Disastrous first half for Philip Rivers and the Chargers.
The official signal from Coach Cable, and the Raiders elect not to do anything with it, which is surprising. They got a timeout too, and you got Janikowski, who can kick it from, way out there.
You're 20 yards away from Janikowski kicking about a 55 to 60 yarder.
Well, they'll be content with that lead at halftime of 21-3. They did have a timeout in their pocket.
Absolutely. Don't understand it.
Janikowski's career long 61 yards, but they elect to take a kneel down and go to the locker room with the big lead on the road. Took advantage of 2 early giveaways by the Chargers. Campbell scoring first on the bootleg. Ford caught one. Bush ran it in. 21-3, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. On CBS continues from San Diego, and the Raiders will be receiving the second half kickoff. Jim Nantz again back with Dan Fouts, and again Phil Simms is out this week after recent back surgery. Will return next week. But that first half performance, this is a team, the Raiders, Dan, have been clobbered the last 2 weeks, and here they are shellacking the Chargers at halftime.
And they're doing it Raiders style. They're running the ball against San Diego. San Diego is one of the best run defenses in the league. The Raiders have 111 yards in the first half alone on the ground. And Jason Campbell's only missed 1 pass. Offensively for the Raiders, they've been awesome.
Yep, they've done a lot of good things here in the first half. Of course, you know how fast Rivers and that offense can get things going. Let's take a look at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola. And it was that 4th and 1 as Campbell faked out everyone, especially Antoine Applewhite, and on the bootleg scored the game's first touchdown as he rushed for 1, threw for 1, and leads them now to a 21-3 lead with possession coming up to start the second half.
Campbell 7 of 8 for 52 yards throwing, 6 carries for 38 yards. He's their leading passer and rusher.
Of course, again, you got Jacoby Ford back there, who's returned 2 this year for touchdowns, and he's going to field this one, backpedaling to the 6. Well covered by the Chargers, including Larry English, holds him to just a 16-yard return. So that summary of the first half. 4th down conversions. Well, that really went the Raiders' way when they went 2 for 2, including the touchdown. Campbell on a sneak, converting and leading to another touchdown. Rivers threw for 120 yards and was picked by Michael Huff. So we'll start out the second half from the 23. And another good fake. He can carry out that play action, can he? And he slides down for no gain. That was Applewhite, the one that got faked out on the touchdown earlier. He shoved aside Zach Miller on that one to make the stop.
This was a key first down pickup by Campbell. Then he gets that touchdown. 6 rushes, 38 yards, that one touchdown, and smart running. But that time on that first down play, the Chargers secondary blanketed the Raiders receivers down the field, gave Campbell nobody to throw the ball to.
Since there was no gain, that goes in the books as a sack for Applewhite. 2nd down and 10. And cutting across the wave, that's McFadden into the arms of Applewhite yet again. That picks up 5. 3rd and 5 on the way.
So that gives the Chargers 34 sacks on the season, as many as they had all of last season. And that's the type of effort they're going to need in the second half to get back in this game. Imperative that they hold the Raiders on this 3rd down.
Tom Cable, who told us we're anxious to play and find out how we're capable of playing in this spot with so much on the line. 3rd and 5, and out of the gun, it's McFadden. Blockers in front. Easily gets the first and races ahead out to the 48-yard line. Cooper Carlisle throwing a huge block, and McFadden takes it for 19.
Well, let's check out Cooper Carlisle, the right guard for the Raiders, right here. McFadden is lined up behind him again. Campbell sucks the rush to him, and then out in front is Carlisle, and McFadden so dangerous in the open field with great speed.
Zach Miller also holding on to his block for a while, and well executed by the Raiders as Campbell now has hit his last 8 throws. He's going ground. Going McFadden, who's galloping inside the 40 and takes it to the 33. Marcel Reese, the fullback, helps spring him for 20.
Yeah, Reese blocking on Kevin Burnett. Not the strongest part of Marcel Reese's game, but this is a perfect block on 99. And that's exactly what Eric Weddle doesn't want to see, is Darren McFadden coming right at him. But huge hole. And Reese with a good block.
Michael Bush now comes in for McFadden. It's Bush on the carry. Burnett and others wrap him up. Gain of 2. Brandon Seiler also in on the play.
Boy, that screen pass just took the wind out of the sails of the Chargers. You see Antonio Garay loses his helmet there. But Ron Rivera's got to be wondering how we can stop this Raider offense. Just been so dominant up front. The offensive line taking control.
That offensive line pushing aside the Chargers for 138 yards on the ground. That's pretty stout. When again, Chargers had not let anyone rush on them here at Qualcomm this year up to this point. 2nd down throw toward the end zone. And the catch is made by Murphy. Is he in? No. Did not have both feet down. He had a step on Quentin Jammer.
Behind the field judge, Scott Edwards, no question in his mind, this is an incomplete pass. The right foot is clearly out of bounds. Good call by our field judge, Scott Edwards, right on it. The Jammer was beaten badly by Murphy.
Murphy's going out. Schillens comes in for him, and the Raiders, there's some confusion. They have to take a timeout. Timeout, Oakland. First drive of the second half, and it's a good one. Leading 21-3. Again in the West with Kansas City winning today 10-6 over Denver. This game's so important for San Diego and Oakland. You figure only one's coming out of the division into the playoffs. No wild card, very unlikely. 3rd and 8. Campbell fires, and it's incomplete. He's looking for Schillens. What happened with the Raiders having to take a timeout there, Dan?
Well, they had a late flag. The personal foul penalty here as both teams are mixing it up a little bit.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
Wow.
Number 70, 15-yard penalty, 4th down.
Dead ball moves Janikowski's field goal attempt.
Actually, take Janikowski out of the mix. So Langston Walker says, hey, get away from my quarterback.
He can.
You could ask a little more politely, I guess. Huh?
Well, yeah, but that's his quarterback, and I'm sure that Jason didn't mind that. But here's Shane Leckler instead of Sebastian Janikowski, and instead of Darren Sproles, you got Anton Kaysen now at the 10-yard line.
Sproles is on the sideline with a baseball cap on. Looks like he might be done for the day. And I just got word he will not return. Concussion, so Sproles is done for the day. Leckler comes in to punt for the 2nd time. Kaysen calls fair catch, and he has it at the 15. Now that penalty again took away a field goal try of about 48 yards. Oakland still leads at 21-3. We're back here in San Diego. Jim Nantz with Dan Fouts. And the Chargers are going to have to mount a big rally here. Their first drive of the 2nd half starts at the 15. Rivers. And a flag in the secondary. He's trying to connect with Gates.
They're going to get holding on Tyvon Branch as Gates was pivoting away on one of his patented moves. The automatic first down.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 33, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Branch is number 33 working on Gates here. And Gates goes to the inside and then to the outside. There's the tug on the jersey. And the flag will come shortly thereafter. But another poor throw by Phillip Rivers at the feet of Antonio Gates.
One thing about the Chargers, they are the most dominant 2nd half team in the league this year.
They're going to have to be.
Yep, plus 90 points. Differential this year in the 2nd half, tops in the league. And May does a good job bringing that down. He's got a first down out at the 34. Gains 14.
This is the 15th catch of the season for Nene, and you can see it's another one of those double moves that the Chargers are so good at. Quentin Groves is victimized that time by Nene, who did bail his quarterback, snatching that high pass.
First and 10 from the 34. Rivers steps up and incomplete. Looking for a flag was Floyd, and there's not going to be one produced. Stanford Rout on the coverage. You know, folks, you can listen to every game live online with NFL.com Audio Pass. There are special offers out there. Go to NFL.com/Audio Pass or search NFL Audio Pass. Now, talking about a dominant 2nd half team, North Turner's Chargers, #1 in the league. They've outscored 10 of their 11 opponents this year in the 2nd half. Every opponent but one, the Raiders, in that game October the 10th when Oakland beat them. And 2nd down, and Rivers falling when he threw it, able to complete it, but it's only a short game for Mike Tolbert.
That's another good play by Rolando McClain. Tolbert out in space, looked like he might be able to spin back to the inside, but watch 55, man-to-man coverage here. Dangerous throw by Rivers. A real solid tackle by McClain.
You've seen the Raiders a number of times this year. What do you think of McClain, the rookie?
Well, I think he's getting better and better, and today we're finally seeing him make impactful plays. Just ask Darren Sproles.
3rd down and 10. Need to get to the 44 for a first. For Floyd, and he's out of bounds.
Boy, and he got a good shot on Tom Cable on his way out, too. Cable barely moved the set. Ball again thrown way off target by Phillip Rivers. Floyd comes down. He's going to be out of bounds with the catch and then beat the head coach.
You're not going to knock him down, though.
No, you're not. Biggest head coach in the league. I'm sure he's the strongest, too.
Cable saying, hey, I can stand up to these guys. You guys can, too. Cypress. And that's Higgins with the return of no gain after a 44-yard punt. Pat Watkins on the coverage. Back here in San Diego, and that Oakland defense that has only surrendered a field goal to Rivers and the Chargers. As Oakland now has its second drive of the second half from the 22. Big hole there awaiting McFadden. And that's thanks to Valdir. Valdir opened up the hole for 7.
Yeah, that's 59 yards rushing for McFadden now. Campbell got it started. He's got 29 yards rushing. Of course, Bush gets in the end zone with that one. So it's been a great job on the ground. Tom Cable told us last night, got to get back to the running attack, and that's exactly what they've done against a very stout San Diego run defense.
Chargers came in 4th in the league in rushing. At one time they were the second best, but a couple of anemic efforts the last 2 weeks. They got it back today, though. 2nd and 3. Nowhere to go this time for McFadden. No gain. In fact, the rush yards total by the Raiders, not even midway third quarter, it's already the most that the Raiders have given up on the ground in any game this year. I beg your pardon, the Chargers, 145. There it is.
Again, another huge third down for both teams. The Raiders have converted 4 of 9 so far today. Like Zach Miller, a little confused. Campbell's going to have to burn a timeout.
For the second time in this half.
It could be huge later on.
The MetLife blimp giving us these aerial views of Qualcomm Stadium, where the crowd is trying to pick up some energy here, get the Chargers going. They're down 21-3. Third down play for the Raiders produces a first. That's McFadden behind Langston Walker. Walker had that big penalty the last possession, makes up for it partly here.
Yeah, working on the defensive end there, then getting up the field on the linebacker. That's pretty good athletic ability by a guy 6'8", 360. Chargers expecting the pass, the perfect call to counter that, the draw play, and the third down conversion.
Michael Bush is the tailback. And a procedure penalty coming up.
False start. Number 69. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Khalif Barnes, who came into the game under that play as a eligible tight end. Here he is on the far side of the screen here. And just that little flinch there, Antoine Applewhite points it out and gets the flag.
So Barnes to the sideline. That's the 8th Oakland penalty of the game. It's now a 1st and 15 as Gray makes the tackle, even with Satelli on him. Picks up 3.
Remember Gray playing with a sprained left ankle, had it retaped. Shows you the toughness of some of these guys on both sides. Everybody's playing with little nicks and bruises. You see all the tape on all those guys' ankles. 6 yards rushing by San Diego.
Second down and 12. Campbell, pressure around his feet, able to sprint out of it and somehow flip it to Bush. Boy, did he escape from that and pick up a huge gain all the way to the San Diego 44.
Oh, but he's slow to get up. This could be devastating for Oakland. What another great ad lib by Jason Campbell. He wanted to throw a deep pass. Watch, he's loading up after the play fake to Bush. It's not there. He pulls it back in, and now look what I found. Huge play, but at what cost for Oakland?
And Campbell is still down. It was Phillips around his feet. He stepped away from that. Burnett landed on him right here and twisted his head.
Kyle Bowler is the second quarterback. He's taking snaps on the sideline, so he's going to come in because Campbell is being attended to by the training staff. So Bowler will see his first action. But I suspect that we'll see Campbell back. He appears to be okay.
Bowler in his 8th year out of Cal. Of course, again, Bruce Gradkowski is done for the year. He's on injured reserve. And that neck twist is what got Campbell. That goes down in the books. There's Gradkowski. That goes in the books as a rush for Bush. Not a pass. It was a lateral. So it goes for 24 yards to Bush's numbers on the ground. Bowler, look at that, come out with a reverse. New quarterback, and they go with a little trickery. And Jacoby Ford looked like it might lose yardage, but instead it nets a +3.
A great job by Sean Phillips running down the elusive Jacoby Ford as Campbell comes back in. This play looked like it had potential, but Sean Phillips, one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL, ran him down before he could get going.
Only the second time Ford has touched it from scrimmage today. One catch. The other one, which was a touchdown. And that's McFadden picking up another first at the 33.
And really the difference today for the Raiders against this defense of the Chargers is McFadden and Bush and even Campbell are breaking the first tackle with either elusiveness or with power. That time was just a little sidestep by a healthy Darren McFadden to pick up that first down.
So Campbell sits out one play and now returns. Oakland approaching 200 on the ground as a team. 13 yards shy of it. McFadden picks up another 4. Coming up, time permitting, after the game, the Subway post-game show. Join JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest on the happenings around the NFL, the recap of the day, coming up on the Subway post-game show after the game.
This is another long, time-consuming drive, isn't it? It
really is. Already down to 5 minutes to go in the third. McFadden now with 76 on the day on the ground. It's a nice 1-2 combo when it goes like this. Here's Bush. And a flag is thrown in near the line of scrimmage. A holding call coming up against Oakland.
Holding for 64. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, you'd never know this is the same team that rushed for only 16 yards last week at home against Miami.
Or the same defensive team that only has allowed just 81 yards rushing against all year long. Total switcheroo.
Yes, it is.
You like that switcheroo? Phil left that for me.
Yeah. You say it so well.
I said it twice, too. I regret the second time.
No need. One penalty today on the Chargers. This drive is it's over 5 minutes. Campbell able to unload it as he was decked on the throw. It was Cesare. It was in his face. Knocked him down just a couple of plays after he was shaken up.
Cesare is number 74 rather. And he gets that shot right there. Prior to the ball being snapped, Campbell had to tell Ford where to line up. You think that if you're going to get called for a long pass play, you'd know where to line up.
So third down, they're probably too far back. to risk a miss on a field goal try. It would be like 57 yards from this point. Campbell pump fake a couple of times, throws it away. Janikowski and Leckler both looking over in the direction of the coach.
Watch the nose tackle. Here's Cesare again. This was going to be a screen pass. He reads it right away and just runs right to Darren McFadden and forces Campbell to scramble and throw it away. Heads up play. Great read by Jacques Cesare. 2 big plays in a row for Cesare.
Leckler with 2 punts inside the 20 today. Cason is back as the returner. Leckler. Now it actually bounced off of Stevie Brown. But it's down inside the 20. They're going to mark it right around the 16. 4 minutes to go in the third. Jim Nantz, Dan Fouts here in San Diego. And the Chargers still trying to get this offense going for the first time today. That was in the area of Legadou Nane. Pressure by Tommy Kelly, who's already got 1 sack today.
It's been a rough day for Phillip Rivers as Tommy Kelly already has that 1 sack he talked about. Now he gets a free shot on the quarterback. That could be called a late hit on the quarterback, but was not. I'm sure Rivers is asking why not.
Yeah, it was pretty close, I have to say. You start talking about again with how this is viewed in the Raider organization as a playoff game, but how devastating the loss would be to San Diego to drop back to 6-6 and 2 full games behind Kansas City. Kansas City's already beaten them once. As Rivers steps away, now he can't. That's another sack for Oakland. Cameron Wembley with the sack. Richard Seymour also putting on some pressure.
Seymour just does. Wembley just doesn't quit on the play. 96 working against Clary on the outside. Rivers steps up, never sees Wembley, and this is a really solid tackle. Watch him drive Rivers to the ground. Rivers' left shoulder.
Wembley, the former Cleveland Brown linebacker.
Boy, they've been getting the pressure from the down 4 too, haven't they?
Haven't had to blitz a whole lot, have they?
Nope.
3rd and 11. There's a completion for a first. And that's Kelly Washington with his first reception as a Charger. The former Raven, the former Patriot, the former Bengal.
The pass pressure hardly ever affects Phillip Rivers. This is a huge conversion when the Chargers needed it most. Steps up and finds a receiver. A strange receiver, as he's done all year. Kelly Washington.
Becomes the 16th different player to catch a pass from Rivers this year. And there's Ojira Tutu with the catch, and a flag is thrown. It's going to be probably against the Raiders for trying to hold on to Ojira Tutu.
Yeah, I think it's Stanford route. Great throw by Rivers as all of a sudden he's finding his rhythm.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 29. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play, 1st and 10, San Diego.
And a gain of 25.
Well, number 26 route was the guilty party there, but great pass by Rivers to Ojira Tutu, and the Chargers in Raiders territory.
From the 45 of Oakland. There's another ball thrown to Ojira Tutu. And a flag at the end. Maybe a face mask call against Oakland.
Yeah, I think Route reached up and grabbed some of his grill. Route having a tough back-to-back plays here. And the Chargers free yardage after completions.
On the tackle, personal foul. Number 26, defense, horse collar, type tackle. Half the distance to the goal, and an automatic first down.
Boy, Rivers really in a good rhythm here. 1, 2, 3 back, and then step up and fire right on target. And there's grabbing the back of the jersey. Yeah, you can see his left hand is still there. He got actually both the face mask and the back of the jersey.
Got the horse collar, the face mask, and all that brings the football to the 13. 15-yard penalty. Well, just a moment ago, they had 3rd and 11 at their own 16. That big pass play to Kelly Washington. On first down, Rivers to Floyd. And that's a gain of about 4. You think about all these different players who have caught at least one pass this year. 16 different targets for Rivers, and they have all these pass plays that go for 20-plus yards on the season, best in the league. I mean, it's not like you think about it, he's throwing to guys like, he's not like got Charlie Joyner or Wes Chandler, Kellen Winslow or Gary Garrison or any of those guys out there.
Well, and he's the best long ball thrower. And once he gets the protection and starts to feel it, as he's feeling it now, very dangerous.
2nd down and 6. Snap at the 9. And Rivers is wrapped up for another sack. Lamar Houston takes him down at the 15.
Here's Houston way on the outside here. Again, it's Jeremy Clary. Well, actually came from the inside. That time Houston, who's normally an end, lined up as a tackle and got the sack on Rivers.
So another crucial 3rd down for the Chargers. They had that big conversion on 3rd and 11. Just a minute to go here in the 3rd. Need to get to the 3 for the 1st. Again, more heat. Shrugs off the hit. Lobs it to the end zone, and it's batted down by Stevie Brown. A lot of air under that pass, and Floyd was waiting for it, and Brown had plenty of time to react.
And we got a Raider that's slow to get up over by the 20-yard line. Rivers showing his strength here, pulling away from Shaughnessy again. And Stevie Brown with the swat. Rivers just couldn't get the ball up high enough for the 6'5" Floyd.
Tommy Kelly of the Raiders is the one. Got the training staff around him. They've already brought out Kading on the Chargers side because you're 3 scores down. You might as well, at this point, try to get it to 21-6 and make it a 2-score game.
Yep, a touchdown, an extra point, a touchdown, and a 2-pointer.
Boy, Rivers has had Raiders in his face all day long.
Yeah, hit and harassed. The San Diego passing attack up until this last drive has just been out of sync. But you can see how dangerous Rivers and this passing attack still can be. Tommy Kelly now up, but still slow to get off the field.
Well, a lot of players shaken up today. A strange day in sports. You got the Raiders, a huge underdog. You got Tiger Woods blowing a huge lead in his own golf tournament and falling to Graham McDowell in a playoff. That's going to be a bit jarring to his psyche. He had a 5-shot lead going in. Here's Kading with a 33-yard field goal. He was short from 50, made from 39. And Kading knocks it through. Remember, he had 5 field goals last week against the Colts. They had a hard time punching it across. They had the 2 defensive touchdowns. This same kind of thing is kind of spilling over this week, too, for that offense.
You got to give this Raider defense a lot of credit, though. They've shut down the running attack. Darren Sproles out with an injury. And it's all up to Phillip Rivers now to get touchdowns and quit getting field goals.
First points of the 3rd quarter. San Diego field goal. They were expecting more. JB, Chris, Warren, and Phil. The Inside the NFL on Showtime. Cable's longest running show. Wednesday on Showtime. Of course, a couple of huge games the next 2 nights. Pittsburgh at Baltimore tonight. Jets at New England tomorrow. Start looking at the whole playoff picture. Everybody pretty much figured that the loser of these 2 divisions with these games the next 2 nights, the AFC East, the AFC North, will deliver 2 teams. And you look today at what happened here. Miami falls again at home, back to 6-6. Tennessee's back to 5-7. Houston had lost the other night. So you sort it out. Kansas City sitting there at 8-4 and watching this game with tremendous interest. Should San Diego lose, now how do you eventually down the line maybe break a tie if the Chargers beat them next week, make up another game down the road? There's so many variables right now, but of course the first tiebreaker is head-to-head. And then you get into records against common opponents. So a long way to go to sort it out, but the Chargers need this one. It's division records, then common opponents. After head-to-head, then division records, then common opponents. Kansas City's already beaten the Chargers. But the Chargers will have a shot at them here on home turf next week.
You got to be the story of the NFL this year. The addition of Charlie Weiss, offense coordinator, Romeo Crennel running the defense, and just being able to run the ball as well as they have made Matt Castle a better quarterback. Throwing to Dwayne Bowe's not a bad deal either.
No. He can tear up some secondaries. So 35 seconds to go, third quarter. And Michael Bush springs ahead for a couple. Very likely last play of the quarter. Oakland will be in no hurry to take a snap before it. So it was a promising last drive by San Diego that looked like it might deliver a lot more of the goods than just a field goal. 21-6 is the score heading to the fourth. Back after this message and a word from your local station. Well, the Raiders rushing the football impressively. Campbell running one in and throwing one as well. This one to Jacoby Ford. 8 of 13, 71 yards. He's been efficient. Haven't had to rely on his arm as they've been running the football, and they have right now 2nd and 7 as we start the fourth quarter here at Qualcomm Stadium. Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
Really?
Can't pounce. You knew it was going to happen once.
It's okay, man.
Campbell with Garay chasing after him.
Another great play by Jason Campbell. He just kept his cool under pressure today and made athletic throw after athletic throw. 3-step drop to the right, nothing there. Scrambles out to the left, keeps his head down the field, and finds Reese. Did you see who else was waving that he was open? Khalif Barnes.
Yeah. I tell you, Reese has made some plays today, hasn't he?
They all have.
So a new set of downs. They go back with foot. And move the pile for another 4, maybe 5. We got an update here. Let's go back to James Brown in New York.
Hey, Jim, a rare occurrence for the Indianapolis Colts. Taj Smith blocks the punt of Dallas's Matt McBriar and takes it in for a 1-point 28-27 lead. Indy had trailed by as much as 17 points. First block and return for a score in 21 years for the Colts. Back to Jim Nance and Dan Fouts.
Well, that's been a long time. Thank you, JB. Coming back from 27 to 14 down. And the Colts lead by a point there in the fourth. 2nd and 6. A big play here by that Charger defensive front, including Applewhite coming up.
Applewhite and Sean Phillips. Sean Phillips just stoned Marcel Reese. Watch right here. He knocks the fullback right back into Bush, and then the rest of the Chargers take him down. Good play by Sean Phillips.
San Diego defense needs to make a play. Needs to do something to get Rivers and company back on the field. Got to get to the 47 for the first, and knocked down by Kayson. And the Raiders sideline saying, wait a minute, where's the flag? He was looking for Murphy.
Great break on the ball by Kayson. Number 20 on the right side of the screen. Watch his left hand. That's perfect timing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely perfect timing to knock this ball down.
So Leckler comes out. He's had another stellar day. Based on just defending that last pass, he's back to return this one. And it's a big boomer that hits at the 1 and takes a forward bounce. 61 yards, but a net of 41. Rivers and the Chargers will have it at the 20 when we come back.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Coming up, time permitting after the game, the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan, Shannon, over Coach Tower. Recap of the day's action, time permitting, Subway postgame show. One first down. There's Gates. Pulls it in. And is dragged down by Mike Mitchell. Picks up 14. Look at this on the sideline. Castillo and Garay. The teammates. Then they made up.
They're discussing hairdos, maybe.
I was glad to hear you say that you did that once.
It was Halloween.
Okay. First and 10. And Rivers. Boy, had Seymour trying to catch up to him.
Seymour may catch a little grief from his teammates when they watch the tape of this one. Rivers is not exactly Michael Vick. And Seymour is not closing on number 17. Of course, you run faster when you're scared.
Picks up 5 yards. Chargers with that big December win streak. In big jeopardy right now. Second down and 5. There's Floyd making a catch. Driven back by Stevie Brown, but they've got it on the Oakland side after a play that goes for 18.
And this is what the Chargers need, is good pass protection for Rivers. They still haven't run the ball worth a lick today. But if he gets time to throw the ball and Floyd has time to work against that zone, good things are going to happen.
First down at the 43. Jump pass. Holbert breaks a tackle. Flag down. Holbert takes it to the 18.
Yeah, this personal foul against the Raiders, so this will
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 90, half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Well, they called him Desmond Bryant, Dan.
Desmond Bryant didn't like the jump pass that Phillip Rivers threw to Mike Tolbert. He hits him in the head, and you cannot do that. And then he's pushed to the ground. Rivers goes right to the official, says, hey, I got hit in the head. Great effort by Rivers, and then Tolbert steps away from McLean. Ball at the 9.
Yeah, first and goal here for San Diego, trying to get to the end zone for the first time today. Tolbert weaving, working that right side just inside the 5.
It seems like hours since the Chargers have run the ball. That gain there gives them 21 yards rushing on the afternoon after coming in at averaging 113 yards a game.
Coaching 10 minutes. Trying to cut into that lead that was 21-3. Second and goal. Rivers to the end zone, wide open. Gates, touchdown, Chargers.
And before the ball was snapped, the Raiders are saying, where's Gates? They're talking about how they're going to cover him, how they're going to double team him. Here he is right here, and he's just going to run a corner route. And look at the Raider confusion here. They all kind of run into each other like Keystone Cops. That's Antonio Gates. All he does is catch touchdown pass after touchdown pass. 10 now on the season.
They go for the 1 here to make it an 8-point margin. Yeah, Gates makes catches with players draped all over him. Makes this one with no one within 10 yards. Touchdown, San Diego. And a little ice skating in San Diego, right off the beach.
Yeah, at the Hotel Del. You never get cold ice skating in San Diego.
Yeah, you said it, didn't you? Nothing says Christmas like ice skating in San Diego. Kick is only to the 10. That's Cartwright taken off. Rock Cartwright, who had a big block punt in their first matchup, takes this 28 yards. Good return near the 40. We're back in San Diego. Jim Nance with Dan Fouts.
Thank you, Ian. I'm sorry, Jim. You're much taller
Just
than I
trying
am.
to see if you're paying attention. Raiders, I knew you were. The Raiders running with McFadden out to the 41. That's a gain of 3. Now the Raiders have been blanked in the second half. 10-zip by San Diego. This is the Charger team. Talked about them being the most dominant second half team in the league. Last week at Indianapolis, 20-0 in the second half. Gave up nothing to the Colts.
And they know that the Chiefs won today, and they do not want to fall 2 games back with the Chiefs next Sunday here in San Diego.
On 2nd and 7, Campbell goes with the long ball option and a jump ball for it and almost pulled in. Murphy tried to tap it, keep it alive. There is a flag in another area of the field. Back in the backfield.
12 penalties now against the Raiders.
Number 45, offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And they get Marcel Reese trying to block Eric Weddle coming on the safety blitz. Watch Weddle 32. And as Weddle tries to go by, it's just a tackle job by Marcel Reese. Look at this effort by Lewis Murphy. Tips it once, tips it twice, and falls up just a little bit short, but wouldn't have counted anyway.
The mark-off puts the football at the 31. 2nd and 17. McFadden galloping ahead. It's all the penalty yardage back. Gain of 10. Raiders just went over 200 rushing on the day.
And they've done it. Langston Walker, check out this 1-2 block as he takes care of Phillips and then Burnett. And then it's Cooper Carlisle pulling and getting a key block on Phillips on the outside. So the Raiders have done it with power, but also with a little bit of finesse on that offensive line.
McFadden with that last run goes over 860 on the season. He has eclipsed rushing-wise his rushing totals of his first 2 years in the league combined. It's a 3rd and 7. Have to get to the 48 for a first. Oh, that was a backwards pass. There's a flag in the secondary. That was McFadden.
They're going to get holding, Jim, against Eric Weddle, I believe. This will give the Raiders a 1st down.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding, defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
Huge penalty. Most of the flags have been against the Raiders today, but this one against the Chargers.
Well, this is a real sketchy call on Anton Kaysen working at Darius Hayward Bay. They're called that holding. Looked like he let him go after he made contact. You'll see the flag come in late. That's just a 2nd penalty against San Diego all afternoon. Huge one, though.
Really is. Gives the Raiders the 1st down at the 45. And Michael Bush squeezes through the pile, picks up 3. Next week, it's a doubleheader day on CBS. Early, many will see Cincinnati against Pittsburgh. Late, there are 4 games in the window. Most of the nation will get New England at Chicago. Others will see Miami against the Jets. Kansas City out here against San Diego, and Denver and Arizona. All begins with the NFL today at 12 noon Eastern time. Doubleheader day next week on CBS. 2nd and 7. Bush gets within a yard of the first. He made a nice little cutback move to pick up 6.
Running left behind Robert Gallery and Jared Veldier. Running left is a Raider tradition. Gene Upshaw, Art Shell, and they're carrying it on.
Well, we've had some huge 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s today. Most of the day it's gone the Raiders' way.
Except when they've jumped off sides.
Look at the Chargers. And straight ahead, actually, look at the Raiders with a little trickery.
2 flags down, though.
That's Louis Murphy down the field.
12 men on the field.
Illegal substitution. 12 men on the field. Defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
37
Oakland.
yards. The Raiders gain.
And again, it's a great play action fake by Jason Campbell. Here's the receiver out here. That's Louis Murphy. Great fake.
I tell you, Campbell can pull off that sleight of hand really with great distinction. He's done it a couple of times today. Only the 3rd catch by an Oakland receiver today.
It's a great fake because the Raiders have run for 220 yards today. Chargers are looking for the run. Even 12 men, they couldn't stop that play.
I think some of the Chargers defenders, after they had brought down a ball-free Michael Bush, were celebrating. I think they had made the stop. Here is Bush with a flag down for only a yard.
Same penalty against San Diego. They still have 12 men on the field.
At the snap, illegal substitution. 12 men on the field. Defense.
Back-to-back
Half the
plays.
distance to the goal. Replay. First down.
We ought to count how many they have out there right now because nobody's come off the field. There's 5 down, 3 in the corner there. It's 12. And now Ugemdi Nwabo comes out. So the Chargers have 11 on the field.
There you go.
I think.
And 1st and goal for the Raiders inside 6 minutes. Bush to the 2.
Jim, I know you've called a lot of games in your career. I've called a few and seen a few, played in a few. I've never seen back-to-back 12 men on the field.
Hey, that just doesn't happen.
I've never seen it. I've never even heard about it.
It's all about to get a whole lot more difficult for Phillip Rivers and the Chargers offense if they want to mount a crazy end run here on the Raiders, because Oakland's 2 yards away. 2nd and goal, and a drive that's gone over 4.5 minutes.
Number 69. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And Khalif Barnes playing a eligible receiver on the line of scrimmage as a tight end. That's twice now that he has jumped. Here he is, number 69. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Of course, even a field goal at this point would be huge for the Raiders. McFadden in the backfield on 2nd and goal from the 7. A pitch to McFadden's got the edge. McFadden barrels his way in for the touchdown.
Speed and power on display on that run by McFadden. Speed to get to the corner, power to run away from Applewhite, and then over Weddle. Pulls away from Applewhite there and then just drills Weddle for the score.
3 rushing touchdowns by the Raiders today by 3 different guys. Bush, McFadden, and Campbell. Janikowski drills the point after. 4:35 to go. Boy, there was a big penalty call on that drive too. But the toss, Weddle tried to stop him, but McFadden took it home. Back here in San Diego, where Darren McFadden has 97 yards on this round and a touchdown. It's been exactly 1,800 days since San Diego lost the game in the month of December. Hester will not run this one out. Some of the early headlines, the stories out there include Jacksonville leading the AFC South with its win today over Tennessee. And the Saints had to come from behind to win up at Cincinnati. Ivory had a big day. Hassel and Kansas City over Denver hold on to first place in the AFC West. There it is, Kansas City at 8-4. Jacksonville at 7-5, and Indianapolis in danger of dropping a game back, down 7 to the Cowboys. Rivers pass. That was going to Ajira Tutu, and Stanford route helped deflect it. We've got an update. James Brown, it's all yours.
Hey, Jim, trailing by 1, the Cowboys were going for a field goal. The Colts were called for a leveraging. Dallas capitalizes with a fresh set of downs. Kittner there to Jason Witten for a 2-yard strike. Then a 2-point conversion to Roy Williams is good. That, Jim, is how they got that 7-point lead that you just referenced. 2 minutes left in regulation. Back to Jim Nance.
The Colts at 6-5 on the year, and a very big drive coming up for them, trying to stay tied with Jacksonville in the AFC South. 2nd down and 10, and Rivers and more players draped all over him, somehow got it away to Gates. Picks up 5.
Good pressure that time by Richard Seymour, and he's slow to get up.
Oakland trying to sweep San Diego for the first time since back in 2001. Mike Riley was the coach of the Chargers at that time, and there's a completion. Had to have it on 3rd down. That's Antonio Gates. Gain of 18. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The Raiders and the Chargers. Jim Nance and Dan Fouts here in San Diego. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after this game, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Big upset in the making here, perhaps, as Oakland leads at 28-13. Got a challenge flag out on the Oakland sideline.
They don't think that Gates made this catch, as Stevie Brown came up and really walloped him.
Oakland has challenged the previous play of a completed catch versus incomplete. We'll review the play. Timeout on the field.
Whereas Oakland has only 1 timeout left. If they lose the challenge, they'll be out of timeouts, but they lead it by 15. They're reviewing the last play, a pass to Antonio Gates. Raiders challenging whether it was actually a reception. In the replay show, it looks like a pretty great effort here by Gates.
Yeah, his right hand is underneath the ball, and his right hand is, and his left hand actually, they're both huge. You can see he pulls the ball up towards his stomach there, and that big right hand has got firm control of it.
Bobbled it, but the hand was underneath the ball, cradling it the whole time.
After reviewing the play has been confirmed. It was a catch. The receiver never lost possession of the ball. It will be 1st down in the middle of the field. Oakland is charged with their 3rd and final timeout.
Yeah, the other thing about making that challenge, again, it kind of breaks the rhythm of the Chargers. It stops the momentum that they may have built up with that good reception. That was a 3rd down conversion by San Diego.
That's a good point there.
That's why I think Cable winked. Did you see him wink?
Yeah, he looked over at one of his coaches, said, it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Slow down the momentum a little bit. Still a 2-score game at 28-13. 1st down with 3:22 on the clock. Rivers takes a hit after releasing that one. It's Lamar Houston who knocked him down.
It's almost now you expect a flag anytime a quarterback is knocked down. Rivers out of the pocket here, though. And Houston hits him. It's a little bit late, but it's legal. It's not in the helmet. It's not in the knees. That's like a strike zone now for quarterbacks. Yeah, no, don't throw a flag on me now, he says.
Second and 10. Route coming in on Rivers, who unloads it, and it's incomplete. It hit the ground. Floyd with a diving attempt. Of course, I was thinking, had they ruled it a catch, the Raiders wouldn't be able to challenge anyway out of timeouts. Oh, yeah, not a doubt.
Went right through his hands. The pressure was from Stanford Route. He came on the corner blitz and hit Rivers just as he was letting it go, and that's really been the story of the day for the San Diego passing attack. Rivers under pressure, not having time, as Floyd had a step that time on Asamoah. Actually, it was Michael Huff playing corner on that side.
Third and 10. Got time for once. And the pass. Boy, it was a battle for it. Ruled incomplete. Ajira Tutu was the target.
And working against Nnamdi Asamoah. And it looked like they were both wrestling for this ball. From that angle, you can't see exactly what's happening to the ball underneath the pile there. Referees, both officials came in quickly and signaled it incomplete.
We were talking to Asamoah last night about meaningful December games in your career. I said there haven't been a whole lot for you. He says there haven't been any until the game tomorrow. And they have answered. Fourth down. Chasing after Rivers, who throws it downfield, incomplete. Again, the rush influenced everything.
Now you got to give John Marshall, defensive coordinator, a lot of credit for this game plan today. They've been able to get pressure on Rivers with just a four-man rush. This is a max blitz, and who gets set free but Richard Seymour? Good coverage in the back end by Stanford Route, but Rivers has no chance on this 4th and 10 with Seymour coming at him.
Of course, Marshall, defensive coordinator, was a coach at Oregon when Dan Fouts was there and when Norv Turner was there.
Yeah, he was our freshman coach in 1969 and 1970. And he got the better of Norv Turner this afternoon.
2:57 to go. Bush for about 5. Never seen Phillip Rivers under so much pressure all game long. And he's going to be on the short end of a December game for the first time as a starter. The Chargers, with that 18-game December win streak, they had not lost since New Year's Eve Day 05 against Denver. And in fact, it was Drew Brees' final game as a Charger.
Yeah, going after that loose ball, Brees injured his shoulder. Of course, the Chargers had this young man, Phillip Rivers. They made a decision that with the bad shoulder, throwing shoulder at that for Brees, that he was expendable, and they gave the reins to Phillip Rivers. Worked out well for both teams, I'd say. There's John Marshall.
After a San Diego timeout, there's another run by Bush for 2. Another timeout, San Diego. So while they take a little timeout here, we go to New York for an update. James Brown.
Jim Nance, Reggie Wayne of Indianapolis with 5 clutch catches on this scoring drive, sets up a 2nd and goal. Javaris James takes it across for the score. That capped a 10-play, 81-yard drive. Colts with 21 fourth-quarter points to tie it up. It's now in overtime. Jim Nance and Dan Fouts.
All right, James, thank you. A wild one there. Tonight on CBS, it's all new, beginning with 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Undercover Boss, and CSI Miami. Tonight only CBS. So the Chargers have 1 timeout remaining. Oakland will have a 3rd and 4 coming out of the huddle here at 2:43. Bush for a 3rd straight carry has the first. So all but put this game away. Only one timeout again for San Diego, and a new set of downs for the Raiders. Raiders had not won here since December of 2002. It was a Super Bowl season for them. Charlie Garner scoring there, Zach Crockett, Tyrone Wheatley. Rich Gannon was at the controls. The Raiders won it 27-7. Went on to the Super Bowl that year, the last AFC West team to go to the Super Bowl. And they're about to pull even with San Diego in the standings of the AFC West, but they have the season sweep over them.
Yeah, they'll be 4-0 in the Western Division, and that's key if this goes down to the end, one of the first tiebreakers.
Watch the Raiders have the head-to-head win over Kansas City with a matchup the last week of the regular season still to come, January the 2nd in Kansas City. First and 10, Bush. Well, the Raiders will be on the road again next week. They'll take on the hot Jacksonville Jaguars. Then host Denver, Indianapolis, at Kansas City. We will not be running another play before we hit the 2-minute warning. Two minutes to go here in San Diego. The Raiders in a stunner. Well, we're going to go ahead and advance things in the brackets, as they say, during March. But here we are in December, and San Diego, an unfamiliar result in this month. It's going to fall short for the first time since 05. 6-6. Now you saw that schedule the rest of the way for Oakland, but what about now Kansas City? What do you see here, Dan?
Well, they go to St. Louis, and that's not going to be easy. And then Tennessee, who is struggling. But that Week 17 game now, that could be very interesting. You look at the Raiders' schedule, how it matches up. Indianapolis, they get them in Oakland, which is a real key, playing the Colts and Peyton Manning.
Third down here with 1:25 remaining. And Bush just refuses to let the first guy take him down. I think he's got another first. San Diego came in here, 4-game win streak, averaging 33 points a game in those 4 wins. Maybe the most impressive performance anyone had seen this season, the way they beat up on Indianapolis in their house.
And in talking to Tom Cable yesterday, said we're going to emphasize the run. He's been saying that all week long after 2 disappointing losses to Pittsburgh and then at home against Miami. How about McFadden going for 97 yards on the ground and Bush for 95?
Wow.
That's getting it done on the ground.
Side by side in the 90s. One last snap, and the Raiders will have their season sweep in the books. They got some breaks early and pounced on every opportunity they had.
And what about the game that Jason Campbell had? #1 quarterback now without question for the Raiders, and he delivered.
Dan, I sure enjoyed it, pal. Great to be back with you. We've done this many times through the years.
Yeah, I wish Phil the best, but I kind of like this seat too, my friend. No, I know he'll be back next week. You betcha.
Oakland with 251 rush yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Wins it 28-13. Coming up next, 60 minutes, followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Undercover Boss, and CSI Miami. For Dan Fouts, Jim Nance saying so long from San Diego. You have been watching the NFL on CBS.